G'day guys, happy Monday. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to give the video a like as soon as you can in the video. That helps the algorithm push the video far and wide. And be sure to subscribe to the channel as well, guys. Your support is greatly appreciated. Let's dive in. What we're going to look at today, we'll have a look at the calendar first of all, and then we'll do a bit of a weekly outlook, see what we can gather for some ideas as for how the week might play out across our futures pairs, our NASDAQ, ES, gold, oil, etc. We'll have a quick look at Bitcoin as well, and a couple of Forex pairs too. So let's start over on the calendar. A very quiet week for news this week. We only have news on Thursday, and that's at 8:30 with unemployment claims, followed by 9:45 news with flash manufacturing and flash services. We'll just stick to our trade plan and wait for our positions to appear following our rules for all these days. And we just wait and see how the market plays out after news on Thursday. So let's jump to the charts. And here we are. We've got 80% off Apex, guys. Finishes tomorrow midnight. All right, so we've got one more bit over a day to go before 80% off finishes with Apex. Be sure to grab your evals using code Jimmy. And if you want to get involved with Tradeify, definitely a great platform. They're always improving. They're going to have one of the best platforms out there. They keep evolving. Be sure to grab Tradeify account for 35% off until the end of the month. Any Tradeify account, they have SIMTA funded. They've got a good range of accounts for all sorts of traders, beginner, expert, whatever you want. 35% off across all accounts. Code Jimmy Trades. Also, if you're looking to get involved with Tradezella, I'm starting to use Tradezella. I've become a partner with Tradezella as well. Be sure to head over to Tradezella. If you want to jump on board, use code Jimmy. I'll drop a link in the description as well, so you can go and check it out. Code Jimmy Trades for Tradezella. All right, and I think you get a 20% discount. It'll be good to confirm that. I need to confirm that. Anyway, I'll let you know. Alrighty. Let's start off here on the weekly. NQ and ES. Going to chart these together. Strong week. Last week from NQ and ES alike. A couple of interesting days in the mix there, but overall strong week. I'd like to look to see from a weekly perspective, because we are in this bearish FEG here on the daily. For NQ, you can see ES has pushed through that, through this bearish FEG. I mean, if we have a look where ES is a little bit lower in comparison, because this would be the relevant FEG here to NQ, we have these relative equal highs that I'm interested in ES reaching for. So obviously would be all-time highs as well. So the same deal with NQ. We are getting a reaction out of this weekly bearish FEG, and that's okay. We had a strong close through here on ES. So what I'll be looking for both NQ and ES, because the previous week's high looks to me like the low-hanging fruit. Okay. It's within striking distance there. So want to see both NQ and ES. If we do continue to move lower, then we respect that 50% level and continue our move higher from there. So that's the weekly perspective. That's how I'm looking at price for us to respect this 50% level of the previous week. If we move down to the daily, we've got NQ resting inside a bullish FEG here at the moment. And you can see that we did get that candle closure back inside the range here on Thursday, giving us insight to order flow. But, you know, NQ and ES were quite different across Thursday and Friday. As you can see, have a look at the comparison candles there. Even Wednesday, to be fair, there was no real alignment. There was no correlation there. But we are falling back into some sort of correlation. Both today's candles across NQ and ES are moving very similar at the moment. Does ES want to take out this low? You know, that's possible. That'll see NQ obviously move lower here as well. And that it might even see NQ push into this gap down here. Moving down to the 4 hour. You know, if ES can take out this low, NQ might only want to come down to this 4 hour gap down here. We've already wicked off that. Okay. Haven't quite tipped into it yet, but there is potential there. So I think there's a good chance we might continue to see lower prices today. So I'm going to put us bearish for NQ and ES. Unless, of course, ES can hold this gap. And we can put in a reversal as we move down to the hourly. Got a little bit of work to do there for that to happen. As we do not have a change in the state of delivery just yet. And in fact, we can almost see how price has just respected these opposing candles as we continue to move lower. You know, price trying to push up here. And again, respect here. Each time we've closed through, we've respected those levels. So we have this hourly bearish unicorn for ES. You can see there we've got this SMT at the highs as well. Okay. The SMT there. And price respecting that level. So if ES is going to lead the way here, and we were to run our standard deviations, this high to the low, then certainly there's our target region. And that pretty well lines up with that low we're looking at. So a wick into here would be nice for a run higher. I even think on the 4 hour, this on NQ, we can see that we got that bearish unicorn here with the gap, change in state of delivery. So yes, I do think we'll continue to move lower today. All right, let's jump over to oil. Let's push out to the weekly. You got for us oil. So we pushed back up into this weekly gap. And we did have a reaction out of here last week. Wasn't a strong week. For a start, we're going to target weekly low. So previous week low. From there, if we don't get a reaction and we continue to move lower, then I'm going to seek out this low in time. But low hanging fruit looks like the previous week low to start with. Let's move to the daily. And it's a similar story on the daily. Price continues to respect the daily bearish FEG here. We've already swept out previous day high. So now looking for that weekly low, which is this low here. As we continue to move lower, we might even see previous day low as well. Swept here. Out of this bearish FEG here on the daily. So we can see that reaction there as we move lower. Let's jump to the hourly. There's a very wild candle there on the hourly. Ignore the wicks is my opinion there. Just distorts price action. It's just a manipulation. The candles tell the story. These relative equal lows here look like a nice draw. We've got low resistance liquidity as we come through to these lows here as well. This opening candle from today, I'm going to sweep that out first. By the looks of that, whether there was some news there, I'm not sure. But we'll sweep out that low and then see where price wants to run from there. But it looks like we'll run out these relative equal lows here and start targeting this low down here. Bearish for oil. Let's jump over to gold. Starting on the weekly. On the weekly, price respecting opposing candle, bullish FEG. You can see we did the same thing down here. Respected this opposing candle and this bullish FEG. Previous week high, round draw. Coming out of the daily bullish FEG, this one being down in a discount of this dealing range. So if we run out and look for the 50% level, you can see that here came into a discount and had a strong reaction. Price sort of moved into a little bit of consolidation here. Looking for Friday high to be swept. Came down into this opening gap. We've reacted out of there. We're putting in these relative equal highs here as well. Want to see this opposing candle here respected. If we come lower, want to see price respect that, continue higher, or we fail that and move lower. I'm going to keep this as my point of interest for now, to look for price to run higher. Bullish for gold. 6E, wow. Well, 6E's already run out 111% of its average daily range. And we've already swept our previous week high. Strong move today, very strong. These relative equal highs sitting up here, just nested up here. If we're going to reach for these, I do want to see the daily closure above this high. This indecision through here was making price a little bit hard to read last week. But I don't want to see another huge wick here. I really want to see price hang around this level now. I'm going to sit with a neutral bias as we move into New York Open. I feel like price will want to come back and offer fair value through here at some point, and then continue to move higher. Change in state of delivery. Very decisive move. But we'll likely see a pullback or a reaction at this level anyway. If one goes up, the other must be going down, and that is the case with Dixie, because they are inversely correlated. You can see this reaction on the weekly out of this weekly bearish FEG, respected. We're getting that move out of there lower. But similar story, you know, we've already swept previous week low. We do have this devil's mark for these equal lows here. This wick with no, this candle with no wick to the downside, acting as a high level draw liquidity. I like the idea of seeing price move lower here with low resistance liquidity here as well. Similar story with Dixie compared to 6E. We have already run out not only previous day low, but the previous week low. So I'd be cautious going in, looking for shorts here, because we might see a reaction where we might see price run higher before moving lower. Similar story, maybe up into one of these gaps before we continue to move lower. Went over to GBP. So we can see that it makes sense. We've respected this bullish FEG. Price has come out of that. We had that swing point candle closure back inside the range. It's giving us insight to order flow. So we've got a bullish outlook. We did sweep previous week high already. However, this high is within striking distance. It's from a few weeks ago now, back from April. So on the daily, we're taking out these highs. Yeah, looking for these equal highs. That looks too clean, doesn't it, to not be swept? I'm going to run with a bullish bias. Even though we've swept out previous week, previous day high, we're within striking distance there to take out those equal highs. Crypto. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. For the week, I'm going to clear some of this up. So I have a weekly gap rested down here. We got the close when we moved down to the lower time frame. We got the close I was looking for, but look, a reaction down into this gap wouldn't be all bad. Just give us some more fuel to rocket higher. Now we got a nice close beyond these opposing candles here as well. Let's move down to the daily. So a sweep out of this low here into this bullish FEG would be nice rocket fuel to see us move higher. We'll sit bearish. We've already swept out previous day low. We've got these, oh no, I was going to say equal lows, but it's not quite equal lows. And that's the previous week low, so we'll see how price plays out here. All right. Let's have a quick look at ETH. Okay, swept out the low. We were looking for that. Had a nice reaction. Now maybe ETH wants to come just that little bit lower into this bullish FEG right here. And a sweep of this low into that would be really nice. Again, giving us that rocket fuel. We've got all this low resistance liquidity sitting through here. That would be ideal. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. As always, greatly appreciate you being here. Appreciate your time. Be sure to subscribe, give the video a like, and follow us in Trade Foundry. The link is in the description. We stream there 4 times a week, and we'd love to have you over there. All right, guys, take care. Bye for now.